Hi, everyone. Welcome to Cheap and Evie, and I'm Evie. And today we are in Boulder, Colorado. I wanted to give you guys a quick breakdown of how you can do a 7-day trip out here and keep it budget friendly. Let's start with the basics. So, for the flight, this is savings number one. I booked early, round trip, and so this trip cost me about $256. Now, savings number two, for those of you who have a pet, you know that dog boarding, especially where I live, Manhattan, is very expensive. It's like $100 a night. So a 7-day trip would end up being like, I don't know, 800 something, 900 something dollars, including tax and all that other fun stuff. I could have driven my dog out to a rural boarding kennel in Pennsylvania, but that's like a 2-hour trip there and back, and then I'd have to go pick her up, which is another 4-hour driving day, which is really also unfun. Their rates are $50 a night, so it's a little bit more reasonable. However, the cheapest thing to do is to just bring her along. So I took Delta this time. They're a little bit more expensive than some of the other airlines. They are $150 one way, so $300 total. That is including tax. It's just 150 flat fee. And you pay at the counter. And what I found was that $300 for the dog to come with me is much cheaper than keeping her at home. The next savings tip I have is lodging. I think that the happiest people, the happiest travelers, are those who do not have to pay for a hotel room. And for me, I was able to find a friend who had just redid her house, and I'm staying there for free. The furniture is a bit sparse. My back kind of hurts, honestly, from the crappy little beds, but I can't complain. It's free, and I have indoor plumbing, there's electricity, and it's a nice place. Finally, there is the rental car. Now, in a place like this, you can't really get away with not having a car, unfortunately. It would be a lot of Ubering. And so I just got a rental car for the week because the whole point of this trip is I wanted to go climb Manitou Incline, which is about an hour and a half away in Colorado Springs. And there's just no way I'm going to be Ubering there and back at 4 in the morning or whatever it is. So I got a rental car and it was $300 or 320 or 10 or something like that. To make it cheaper, I hornsoggled my boyfriend into coming with me, and we split the price. So we end up each paying about $160 for the car, which I feel like is really reasonable for a week of driving around. Now, I know a lot of people love to travel and try out new cuisine, and I'm not against that. It's just gets expensive. So for me, I like to go to the grocery store the very first day I'm in a new place and buy groceries for the rest of the time that I'm here. Now, unfortunately, for this particular trip, when I got here, I realized that the fridge was not working. In fact, it was broken and there was food inside that had melted and rotted and fermented. So yeah, I couldn't buy anything that was perishable. So my grocery haul just included a bunch of non-perishable items, which I guess was fine because I needed an excuse to buy Pop Tarts. I haven't had those in a really long time. This is what a typical frugal day of eating looks like with non-perishable items. So for breakfast, I went with eggs that I boiled. And if you boil the eggs, you can leave them out at room temperature. You don't have to refrigerate them. They'll stay fine for a few days. Oatmeal, instant oatmeal comes in packets. Granola doesn't need to be refrigerated, and bananas. So fruit that doesn't need to be refrigerated. So yeah, got my protein in, got my fiber in, got my carbs in for the morning. And then for lunch, I would do like a can of bean soup, like usually lentil soup or something like that, and a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now for dinner, what I did was this was kind of like my wild card meal is I would go to Trader Joe's or Whole Foods or whatever grocery store and I would get like salad or chicken or I don't know, pizza, frozen pizza, and then I would just make it at home and have no leftovers and make sure to eat the whole thing. It worked out pretty well. For the main event of this trip is Manitou Incline. So the reason I'm here for a week is because I needed 3 days to acclimate to the altitude, 1 day to do the climb, and 3 more days to recover from the climb. Um, It is about an hour and a half. I woke up at 4 in the morning, somehow managed to get my ass out the door by 4:10, drive down to Colorado Springs from Boulder, and I got to the Manitou Incline at around 5:56 AM. Started climb at 6, finished in about an hour and a half. It took another, like, hour to get down the mountain because I'm a terrible hiker, and then I drove home, which is another hour and a half. So, all total, I basically just paid for gas and parking. Now, with the incline, you can choose to spend $15 in cash and just pay right near the entrance, or you can pay $5 for parking in town and then take a shuttle bus. Given that I had gotten up at 4 a.m., in this particular instance, I decided to choose convenience over price. And honestly, $10 extra to be able to be right by the incline was great. And actually, it wasn't even getting there, it was afterwards. I was so tired. I was so hot, so sweaty, so gross, so dusty. It was nice to be able to get off the mountain and just walk to the car, not have to sit and wait for a shuttle bus, and just go home. The great thing about this climb is that even though it is kind of a pain to get there and to get the parking, and you have to pack snacks and whatnot, the climb itself is free. There's no time limit. So you can go and you can just take your time, climb up those stairs, and take all the rest that you need. Now, this last bit is about remote work and doing work while I'm here and not spending a ton of money sitting in cafes or restaurants and places like that. So I basically optimized I love that word, optimize my WeWork membership. I usually go to WeWork in New York City. There's a bunch there. There's one in Boulder, and so I was able to basically use the co-working space here at WeWork, which is where I am right now. It's got a great view, great Wi-Fi. They have air conditioning, which, by the way, my house does not. And I'm even able to bring my dog to work with me, even though she's not here today, because she thinks everyone here is her friend for some reason, and it's very hard to get work done with her around. So, yeah, it's great to be able to use this membership. I don't pay anything. There's free coffee, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, there's events where there's food and it's free food. So, it's fantastic. It's one of those memberships where I feel like getting it is worth it because of the amount that I travel. I can find places to camp out. And so, as long as I sign into the local WeWork, I can just tap in and hang out here for pretty much as long as I want. Now, it's not that I don't spend any money. It's just that I choose to spend my money on things that I feel like are worth my time. So I have some friends here that I met up with for dinner and for coffee and for lunch. Um, and it's nice. That's the kind of stuff, situations where I don't mind spending money because it involves socializing with people, making connections, and it's interesting to try the local food here, mostly the steaks. I think that is what Colorado is known for is steaks, burgers, and really good craft beer. So that I'm willing to spend money on, especially since a lot of the beers here I cannot get in New York and I've never seen in New York. I hope you guys enjoy this episode. Just a reminder that living cheap doesn't mean you have to stay at home and be boring. It just means you have to plan for the things that you want to do, and you have to have an idea of how much it costs and what are the compromises you are willing to make between convenience and price. If you want more realistic budget tips for living and traveling, subscribe to my channel, please, and I will see you guys back in New York.